Now that's the real Phil Taylor. Not happy with 103 average this afternoon, 113 this evening. And he's seen off Robert Thornton 11-7. And will play in the final later. Match stats, 11 legs to 7, 113 plus average, nudging 117 at one point. Robert Thornton, lest we forget, certainly played his part and led the match at a couple of stages in the middle of what was terrific stuff. Probably leg 15, the key one. We'll have a look at that with Alan in a moment. But first, let's hear from Phil, who's with Janie.
And I tell you what, here's one happy man, Phil, ever closer to getting that trophy. I bet you've even got a space for it in your trophy cabinet at home already, haven't you?
To be honest with you, if I win the trophy, it's these two lads here. What have they, that's the one that played the blowpipe the other night. He's absolutely brilliant. No, I said if I win it, I'm going to dedicate my trophy to these two lads here.
Talk to us about that match, because Robert wasn't going to make it easy for you, was he?
Was he not? No. I'll tell you what the turning point was for Robert. I was 4-1 up, and it was my dart on the break, and he come back with a cracking 11-darter. And he kept finishing at the last dart on the last double, you know what I mean? And he was putting me under a lot of pressure. But I was making it even, so I thought, look, there's a tie-breaker, don't panic yet. And that's what I did. I just kept me head, and then hopefully just try and take the darts off him, which I did do.
And what about on leg 15, when your reaction was just astounding?
Well, it's got to be, isn't it? You know, you're up here, you know, it's a massive game, this is. You know, it's not the surprise money. These lads are now after everything you've got, you know, and fair play to them. And it's up to me now to stop them from doing it, you know. They're practicing, they're dedicated, and then they're coming along and they're getting better and better and better. The averages are getting better. I'm trying to raise my averages, and these doing it as well, so... That's what it's all about, you know. Fair play to him.
So you got the final coming up next. What are you going to do in between the time you've got now before the final's coming up? What are you going to do?
I'm going to practice. I'm going to stay on my feet. I'm going to keep practicing and watch what's going on. Watch how they're playing. Study them a little bit. See if they've got any weaknesses.
And of course, you've got the big man in the pink T-shirt. You've got Peter Manley, or your protege. Who would you prefer?
Do you know what? It doesn't really matter now. I think on paper, Maid Adrian is a little bit in front. I don't know, but Peter's going to give him a lot of stick now. So Adrian's got to watch Peter's winding up tactics, because he will. I'll tell you, he will do it.
It's going to be a great one. Look forward to watching.
Okay, it's going to be a cracker.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great stuff. Thanks, Janie. We'll look forward to seeing Phil in the final. He'll keep his eyes peeled for Manley versus Lewis, which comes up shortly. There were, again, lots and lots of moments to look back on in that match. It did certainly was a scrap for a long part of it, but perhaps leg 15, pivotal?
That was absolutely pivotal for two different reasons. One, he broke the throw, and two, he knew in his own mind that if he won every throw from now on, he was going to win the match. He missed the tops, he missed the double 10, a lot of pressure on this.
Yeah, going into a break.
Double 5, going into a break, and he gave it the old back of the net, 1-0 there.
Yeah.
He knew.
Yeah.
Look at his face there, he knew.
Absolutely. And then, I think in leg 17, he gets himself 10-7 in front. Another excellent check out, and you got 1 foot over the line then. Well,
when you get in front towards a business end of the match, it's difficult for your opponent to get back.
Yeah. That's 6 darts.
Set it up there, went for the double 15 and missed it. Set it up, moving in for the double.
Misses the 16, forgets the 8.
Urging himself on there, knew he was close.
Yeah.
Just waited to do that final push in the 1,500 metres and you're going down the straight, just wanted to get over the line.
And not surprised that he'll stay on his feet, he'll stay practising, he'll keep that sharpness as best he can for a final that's, well, maybe 45 minutes, an hour away, something like that.
That's right. This is different than most TV events where you play the semi-final and final on different days. When you're playing the quarters, the semis and the final on the same day, you've got to keep yourself prepared and ready and proper all the way through the day. And Phil Taylor's good at doing that. That's why he's in the position he's in.
Let's hear from our very gallant and excellently played loser, Robert Thornton, who has no need to look back with dismay at what he's done here the last few days. He's with Ned.
And do you know what, Matt? I don't think he has any intention of looking back with dismay. I mean, you've got a smile on your face because you know you've done yourself credit there despite losing, Robert.
Yeah, I pushed the master, didn't I? He's a master of darts now. He raises the bar, we'll keep following, and we will push him.
4-1 down at that first break. People don't come back from that and give them a game. They normally just crumble and go home.
Nah, yeah, you do if you get the mental stability. You can give them a game, you can come back from it.
And your average over the match, over 100, 102. I mean, not often that you'll put in that sort of average and lose, but that says a lot about the man you're playing, I guess.
Yeah, of course, his average was 114. He hit doubles. The 15th leg was a turning point, and that was it.
Is there much that you can do about him, the rest of you, at the moment?
Yeah, of course we can. We can improve. He raises the bar, we've got to improve that.
And your game's improving all the time too, Robert. I mean, you're a coming force now in the PDC. You've got big things ahead of you as well. Apart from working out how to spend all your money that you're earning at the moment.
No, yeah, I'm going to be chasing him. And he knows I'm going to be snapping at his heels. Yeah, I'm going to go.
Wolverhampton?
Yep.
That's a target. That's another opportunity, isn't it?
That's another opportunity, yeah. But doesn't count toward the rankings. And the tournament after that does, though.
Excellent. Well, you've impressed everyone. Thank you very much for coming and talking to us. And good luck.
Not a problem, mate. Thank you very much.
Thanks to Robert. Look forward to seeing him at the Grand Slam in Wolverhampton. So, Phil Taylor through to the first European Championship final. 11-7 over Robert Thornton. Nearly time for our second semi. Who fancies the power in the final? Will it be Peter Manley or will it be the jackpot, Adrian Lewis? Lewis, frankly, blew Barney away earlier in their quarter-final. 9 legs to 2 he beat Raymond van Barneveld with an average of 108 plus. He is in fine form. He's had a word with Janie.
Well, Adrian, earlier we saw the performance of the championship totally destroyed Raymond van Barneveld. How fired up are you now?
Yeah, I mean, I'm looking forward to the next game. Obviously, now I've just seen Peter beat Alan Tabern. I know Peter's a very, very good player. But I know if I play my game, I should win comfortably.
Well, talk about playing your game. I mean, last time out we saw you hit a 10, an 11 and a 12 darters and an average of nearly 109. That is going some.
Yeah, I'm just glad. I mean, at the end of the day, I knew what I had to do. I said to you earlier on in the interview, I knew what I had to do against Raymond. He's beat me last leg numerous times. So he's on close because, I say to you, you've got to take your hat off to Raymond van Barneveld because he never uses any tactics against anybody. He doesn't brush past you and catch you. He plays his own game and lets you get on with your game. And he's a proper, true gent of the game. And that's all I can say. He's absolutely brilliant.
Look forward to it.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And up against Adrian is the Pinken, Peter Manley. Peter has entertained us royally the last few days and cruised past Alan Tabern by 9 legs to 4 in their quarter-final this afternoon. Fingers crossed he'll have the same big pink shirt on tonight. Here's Peter.
Well, Peter, another stonking performance from you. 7 legs on the trot when you were playing James Wade and 8 just now. You're going to need that form against Adrian Lewis.
Oh, definitely. I mean, Adrian played absolutely superb and we had to follow that. But he has to do it again. And if he can do it again, then he can be the next Phil Taylor. Is he the next Phil Taylor? I don't think so. I've beaten him so many times, that's like watching paint dry.
Did you watch that performance, though, of Adrian's?
Briefly. Briefly, you've got to remember I'm getting ready for my next game, so you can't really look at too much what's going on.
Talking about the game you've just played, you blew 3 darts at tops in the 13th leg. You can't afford to give Adrian any room, not when he's in that sort of form.
I'll probably be so far in front, I'll have 6 darts against Adrian. But no, you're right, and it's the same.
Well, he talks the talk, does he not, Peter Manley? We will see very shortly if he can walk the walk. It's him or Lewis to face Taylor in the final. To introduce our second semi-finalists, as always, John McDonnell.